terrorism, and some of the limits are stratospheric. But we've maybe got studies showing MPL. So is the policy limit and the MPL looking at differently?
I don't know what MPL.
Maximum probable loss.
Oh.
Like a California earthquake study, we had a client recently we're working with that has a $400 million potential exposure, but we've had an earthquake study done that says the MPL is actually only $49 million. So do I need a $200 million capital, or do I need 49 under your sort of, have you got a reasonable argument if it's the MPL, or is it the policy limit?
Well, I would have to think it's policy limit in that case.
My sense of the world is that Vermont has a working rule that they, on a terrorism policy, want capital equal to 10%. And, they're the gold standard. So that's the first place. If the service came to me and said, well, what about this? That's the first place I'd go. And I'd say, well, Vermont's the best regulator in the universe, except, of course, for South Carolina, Tennessee, and any other regulator who's here or is on the tape. And, I'd say, look at that. These are the experts. This is what they say. But, you're running straight into that issue.
Anything else, anybody? Well, I want to put earthquake insurance, not earthquake. I want to put terrorism insurance, but I'm going to prevent, let me start back over again. Kidnap insurance in my captive, but the party that I'm covering under my kidnap insurance, it only applies if he's in the state of South Dakota, but he can never go to South Dakota. Is that good insurance?
I don't think you have a fortuity. So that's not good insurance. It's like a hole in one.
With this group?
Other than Jeff.
True.
Oops, sorry, Jeff.
We want to put some unique risk or different types of risk, things that you don't necessarily find in the commercial marketplace today. What do you think about those types of things?
Well, the service will ask whether or not they're business risks. They don't have any problems with medical malpractice or property or general liability or auto. But when you start putting in there the less traditional risks, they're going to ask whether or not these are business risks or whether or not they're not. My sense of the world, and I haven't gone back and really reread this, but I think they kind of made up this business risk issue. But again, you'll have to confront it. And in today's environment, where everybody's looking at enterprise risk, it kind of strikes me that the captives a lot of times are on the forefront. So the captives are the ones who put in reputational before other people, or supply chain. And then when you had the Toyota situation, both on the reputational and the supply chain, now the commercial industry is doing that. So the captives a lot of times are on the forefront. Cyber risk, I think, while it was sort of around before, I think it went through the captives better. I'm looking at Gary, is that right? Than the commercial market as much. So, but that's the issue.
But the fact that I'm putting in these types of risks that are not covered, garden variety. At the time, cyber risk was not. Supply chain were not. If you had come into an examination at that point in time, you would have thrown those out.
Oh yeah, I would have filleted you. Oh. And the other problem is, if you went to the actuarial presentation by Bartlett,